Thank you guys for joining us today for the Iconic Conversation series. I'm Xania Marie, your host, and today we're having an iconic conversation with Larneka Lavalais, who is an LPC, a licensed professional counselor, and a mental health advocate. An icon is a person or thing that's meant to be revered or idolized. For the purpose of our series, we're interviewing people in our community who are worthy of being recognized for their efforts to be positive role models for future generations. Were you born and raised in Southeast Texas?
Yes, born and raised in Port Arthur, Texas.
What schools did you attend?
I attended, you want all of them?
You can start with high school.
Okay, I started preschool now, Sacred Heart, okay. High school, I attended the historic Abraham Lincoln High School in Port Arthur, Texas.
Okay.
From there, I graduated and went to Lamar University, Beaumont, for undergrad and 2 graduate degrees.
Ooh. What all do you do?
I'm employed with Goose Creek ISD as a behavioral mental health counselor, and I work for an online company called Talkspace. I'm a therapist with them. And I have my private practice part-time. It's called Larneka Lavalais LPCP LLC. I speak at different events. I host different events, facilitate. I have a couple of support groups. My Story to Tell, Breaking the Cycle, and Cutie Pie, Southeast Texas. Pretty much, I'm hands-on. If someone has a question or concern about mental health, I'm there. I try to answer as best as I can. I advocate for everybody, especially for children. And I advocate for the Black queer community.
So what made you choose to go into that profession?
Well, my undergrad and my first graduate degree, undergrad is in criminal justice and sociology, didn't mention that before, and my first master's is in criminology. I worked as an institutional parole officer. As an institutional parole officer, we interviewed the guys for parole, the inmates for parole. We went through their life history for the most part, and it seems like about 90%, if not 99.9% of the people had some sort of mental health issues that were undiagnosed, untreated, some type of traumatic events in their childhood. All of them, they could tell me where the turn went when they had these incidents in their lives and they ended up in the wrong direction. They made bad choices. You know, I'm listening to these guys. I know at that point some of them have life, some of them have like 80 years and they're like young. And I'm like, okay, so what can I do to help? At this point, they're already here. Maybe if I meet them, you know, where it starts in school, I can intervene some kind of way, make a difference, so they won't choose that path that'll lead them there. And I was a Sunday school teacher at my church, and like on Saturdays, I would mentor. Sundays, I'm teaching Sunday school. My Sunday school class was a trip. Okay, they wasn't just sitting, they weren't sitting down just like, hey, Father Abraham. No, they were talking about whatever, throwing up the gang signs and doing all that. And so that led me to starting an outreach program to try to intervene in the kids' lives. And some kids were coming in with some issues that I just didn't really know how to deal with. And I didn't want to hurt them if I couldn't help them. And you know, I'm doing the best I can, but I knew there were some things that I didn't know how to do, so I went back to school. And got my master's in education through counseling and development. Now the schools are getting it, and they are providing mental health services and resources to the children in the school setting.
What was your biggest inspiration to want to do that? Was it when you worked in the prison?
My inspiration initially came from the civil rights movement. You know, I remember being a kid watching Eyes on the Prize, thinking, boy, I wish I was born during that time. What was I even saying? But just the advocacy, the activism, the ideal of coming together, making a change for our people. And so I took that with me, and that was my inspiration.
Any projects that you have coming up?
Okay, so right now, February the 28th, we're doing an event from Broken to Healed Self-Love. And we have a facilitator, Deshante Ben. She's coming out. She's awesome. I've been in conversations with her. She telling me her story. And I'm like, this is awesome. Please come out and share it. We have a DJ coming. We have, I think somebody's performing.
Yes.
And we have food and bottomless mimosas. So you're gonna be able to get some tools and, you know, something that you can use to deal with being broken, whether it's brokenhearted. If you're depressed about life, just whatever it is, help you to learn how to develop some techniques to, you know, get past that and then have a good time. You know, so that's one of my projects. I'm always speaking, so there's an event in Baytown coming up on the 7th, where I'm speaking about mental health. We don't realize how mental health comes with us everywhere. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a breast cancer survivor, whether you are, I don't know, what at the club, you know, we deal with mental health everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's the base of what we are. It's the base of how we make our decisions. So yeah, of course, mental health is something that we carry with us every day.
Yeah.
Tell me about a project or an event that you were most excited to work on, one that you found the most enjoyable.
I like all of them, but I did one about a couple years ago. It was a sexual abuse, sexual trauma seminar. I had been a part of different projects, of other people's projects, and I'm a guest speaker or facilitator, but to actually put it on from start to finish with the help of a good friend, doing the digital graphics, getting her son to do that, and getting speakers, just to see that I could put these things together, you know, inspired me to want to do more.
For me, that one event that I did last year was one that I did from start to finish, picking the venue, selecting the people that would come out and speak, the actors, the scenes, like Fundraiser.
Okay.
And it definitely made me want to do more.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed the energy that was there, the actors that actually came out to perform. I mean, everything came together. And I was very pleased with what we did. I had a lot of fun. You came out, you spoke.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to try to do something like that again.
Awesome.
Now, when you go out and you do your speeches, do you get performance anxiety?
You know, I think the anxiety comes towards the end, because I'm so hype about doing it, and I just want to let everybody know about whatever it is that I'm, you know, within mental health, if it's grief, if, you know, whatever the case may be. I think the anxiety comes towards the end when it's like, hey, I'm really doing this. Oh, look out, I'm nervous, you know, but I just do it, you know. Speaking, public speaking, the thought of it can be, make me anxious, but just when I get out there and start doing it, it's like, hey, I'm doing it, you know, so I just jump into it.
Yeah, I still can't even explain how I feel about the performance that I did. I mean, even just announcing the people that were coming up for the fundraisers was kind of nerve-wracking for me, because people were looking at me.
Yeah.
And they were expecting me to tell them what was going on, and I'm like, I just want to be here and enjoy it with y'all.
Yeah. Well, one trick I learned when I was in junior high and high school, I used to sing. And I would do solo and ensemble and stuff like that. And I remember the music teacher told us, don't look at people, look at the top of their heads. So people think you're looking at them, and they might make faces to discourage you or whatever, but you're really looking at the top of their heads. So a lot of times when I'm speaking, I'll do that. But if I catch the face or the eye of a person that seems to be into it, it's like, okay, so I'm gonna talk to you. All right, so this is what we're doing. So that helps me to feel comfortable.
Awesome. Do you have a dream platform of where you would like to speak or see your mental health advocacy reach?
I would like to, I don't know where I would like to speak. I'd like to go all over the U.S. and all over the world and advocate for mental health. I'd like to do some retreats in some spaces to, you know, bring people to a sense of calm and beauty and relaxation, you know, do things like that. I remember one time I did a vision board, and I had Iyanla Van Zandt on there. I was like, I want to be I want to have the kind of platform that she has, you know. Now, as a licensed professional counselor, and what Iyanla does, we're totally different. I'm not gonna, you know, call you no gutter stamp and no stuff like that. But just the idea of when people think about changing their lives or getting help, she comes to mind. Or Brene Brown, you know, different people like that. So I would like to be known when people think of Larneka Lavalais. Oh, she's a mental health advocate. Yeah.
In 2019, specifically in 2019, I want you to name an event or project that you were most excited about.
We did was that in 19? We did bowling. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where I first met you. The
Oh,
bowling
that was-
event.
yeah.
Was it Houston?
With the Houston
Kids?
Cutie Pie. Actually, we're talking
Okay.
about doing another one, so, or
That's
another
awesome.
event, a joint event, so I think that'll be pretty cool. So I think
That was
it's
great.
good. Yeah.
That was my intro back into being in Beaumont, or the Beaumont area.
Okay.
Was going to that event, and I made obviously some great connections just from going
Awesome.
there. So
Well, see, I'm glad that you checked out Cutie Pie and you came and was like, yeah, come on. We got stuff here. You can do that. Mhm.
I did. I'm happy I did. Do you have any hidden talents or business interests that you have not pursued yet?
Do I have to do my hidden talent on
I mean,
I used to sing. You know, that's a talent if you know, talking in that form. I used to be like singing operatic tone and stuff like that, classical music. I really enjoyed that.
if you could work with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. I guess I would say, and I don't want to name people because I don't want to miss anybody. There are a lot of young activists right now in the Houston area that I'm aware of that are doing some awesome work. And, you know, even though I'm in Port Arthur, Beaumont, they're all over in Houston. It would be great to collaborate with them on some projects.
Of course.
Anyone that's not alive that I would want to work with, of course, all the civil rights icons. Looking at Stonewall and Marsha P. Johnson, you know, people in that particular era fighting for that change. You know, we still got a lot of fight left. We got a lot of fight left, a lot of things we need to fight for. It's funny how the one thing that I'm fighting for is mental health and how it affects really everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
It does. It affects the culture itself because it's a mindset that we have. And until we heal that mindset, you know, not much else is going to change.
That's right. That is true.
What is it that you want to be known for?
I want to be known for someone who came from Port Arthur, Texas, a little place nowhere where a lot of big people have come from, that made a change. You know, I want to have my footsteps left and remembered in the sand, right? You know, I like the song say, I'm just a nobody trying to help everybody, you know.
What changes would you like to see in our community?
I would like to see that stigma for mental health broken. I would like to see us all come together, no matter our backgrounds, our orientation, our identification, and we as a people, we as a people of color, as black people, brown people, what have you, can just stop all that foolishness and come together. You know, united we stand and divided we fall. And we fall because we allow the Willie Lynch syndrome and all these different things to divide and conquer us. You know, we have so much talent as a people. You know, being brought here and broken down and still able to evolve and stand again, to rise up from all of that. We can accomplish such great things if we would work together.
How do you think we can begin to be unified?
One person at a time, have conversations like this. You know, people coming together, talking to each other, realizing that we're not that different. We have the same goals. Not being envious of each other. If I have my license and certifications and all these things. Don't look at me as, oh, she thinks she all that, she a nerd, she this, she that. Look at me as a person, as a resource that can help you with something, you know.
Right, just to be around to help each other, to offer that help, and want to be a part of the help that people need. What advice would you give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and be an advocate?
I would say just do it. Don't be afraid. You know, it's scary. You listen to the news and they'll tell you about this and that and all the naysayers. If you have a passion, if you believe in something, if you believe in a cause, put your blinders on and just go for it. You know, don't let the idea that you might be from a small town or you're nobody or whatever, because you are somebody to somebody.
Exactly. And somebody is always looking up to you to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Someone is going to follow you, and they're going to try to emulate you. So you want to be that person that people are following for positive influence.
Yes.
So let's talk about spare time. Do you have any? What do you like to do?
My spare time goes to my niece and nephew. I have 7-month-old twin niece and nephew and a 20-month-old nephew. And most of the time, that's what I do. I spend time with my family.
Yeah.
I work on projects, that's fun, you know, but spare time, I like to travel whenever I can. I do like to travel. I like food, nice, you know, atmosphere. I love music. My goal is to, you know, take a couple trips a year, a place where I can, you know, enjoy some live music, you know.
I'm trying to do that too.
Yeah. Yes, that's pretty. And sleep, because I don't get enough whenever I do have some spare time. Lord, help me sleep, okay? Help me lay down, all right? So.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my to-do list items whenever I have spare time. It's just to try to catch a nap, because I will be up all night doing something, working on some project, and now I'm getting into video editing.
Okay.
So
it takes a lot of time.
Yes, it's very time consuming in itself. So I definitely try to catch a nap whenever I can. In your own words, describe what it means to be an icon.
What it means to be an icon. I would say someone who's affected people in different ways, to the point where they remember you. Your name speaks volumes. When you talk, everyone listens. Like, yeah, button, right? Someone that's bigger than life. You know, Superman, Wonder Woman, Oprah. You know, that's when I think of icons. I think of people like Sojourner Truth or Shirley Chisholm. You know, people who have done great things as a simple lady from Puerto Rico. Even I can be an icon.
As a mental health advocate, you're already taking steps to influence other people. I mean, you're already in the school system, so you're starting with children that are young enough to just realize that something, you know, may or may not be there, to give you a hint of what could possibly happen. So I thank you for being part of the Iconic Conversation series.
Thank you for having me, definitely.
This was an Iconic Conversation with Larneka Lavalais.